What's up, friends? It's December 2024, and you know they weren't going to let us get to the end of the year without changing a bunch of forms on us. So I'm here to give you your updates. You don't want to sit in a 1 hour webinar. I don't want to give one. So let's try to get in and out in 5 minutes. How awesome would that be? I'm going to go over the forms and the only things that you need to know moving forward. All right, so the first thing you're going to notice, and this is going to be your favorite, there is no more SPBB. It's gone. No more. Not using it anymore. Can't even find it in WinForms. On the RPA, you're just going to check box G3. You're asking the seller to pay the commission, and it's going to ask you for a percentage or a dollar amount. So the next change you'll see is on the buyer counteroffer and the seller counteroffer. In the past, if the counter expired, but it was still signed by everybody, it just kind of went through. So now, if the seller signs a counter after the expiration, the buyer has to go back and agree to it, and vice versa, right? Buyer sends their counter, it expires, then the seller accepts it after the expiration. The buyer's got to finalize it. Moving on to the BRBC, you're just going to notice some new language in there. It's going to give like a contingency and an out in the rare situation where the seller is not agreeing to pay the buyer's agent's commission, because that does come up. And it also gives the option to make the cancellation period less than 30 days. Next up, we've got form CAC. This is going to be one of those forms where if you submit an offer and you cannot come to an agreement on the seller paying the buyer's agent commission and the buyer has no money, basically lets you back out of the transaction and let them continue. All right, so the seller won't pay the buyer's agent commission, the buyer has no money. It allows you to unwind that agency confirmation, but let those guys proceed with the negotiation. The next form we've got is COBR. It's basically letting you cancel your exclusive representation on certain properties, but not all properties. So let's just say you show 10 properties and you're negotiating one, and for whatever reason, you've got to remove yourself from that. Maybe the seller won't pay the buyer's agent commission and you say, hey, you guys move forward with negotiation, whatever happens, happens, but you're still maintaining your representation on the other 9 properties that you showed. All right, so next is the residential listing agreement. You guys are gonna love this one. If you saw my video before about these big form updates, I was like, why do we need a separate form with a checkbox to indicate the seller's willingness to pay concessions? That's crazy. Why wouldn't you just have it on the RLA? Well, somebody listened, probably not to me, but to somebody. Now it's on the RLA, box E2, where it used to be on that one form. I don't remember the name of it, ML something something, but now the seller can basically publish their willingness to pay concessions, and it's on the RLA. It's not its own separate marketing addendum. Lastly, we've got an updated PSRA, Property Showing and Representation Agreement. This one's amazing because I remember asking at the time, why is it only 3 properties? Why do we have a form for 3 properties, but if we want to show more, now we need another form? So now there's a little checkbox, and you can add a list of all properties. You don't just have to use this form for 3 properties only and then get another one for another 3 and another one for another 3. You can put all the properties on this one agreement.